Go, baby. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Daily Rip. It's a big day. Happy NVIDIA Day. My man Shy, how we doing?
Yeah, it didn't go out great. As you guys can tell, like how can you tell if it's Nvidia Day? Look at what Jordan and I are wearing, our leather jackets. We got to rep
Hey,
the Jensen school.
we got to rep the squad, baby. I got my Rec Shares hat on as well. Shout out BTCL, BTCZ. Got to shout out the crew there, of course.
Yeah,
But
I
it's
mean
going to be a
today's
fantastic day. We got some earnings kicking off right
hmm
now in the morning as well. Bunch to talk about this morning. So, yeah, Shy, what are you looking forward to this afternoon or what?
Yeah, of course. Listen, nobody scuffs about on Christmas Day people wear Santa Claus outfit. This is our Christmas, Nvidia's earnings. We're gonna wear our outfit for Nvidia's earnings. Boom, boom, boom.
You know we have
I
to.
will say I'm 31 years old. I don't think I've worn this leather jacket since probably I was 24, 25.
I'm 22 years old. I wore this 2 days ago. So,
It tracks. It's an early 20s outfit. But yeah, I mean, today's a massive day. Like it will dictate. Like Nvidia, first off, went up 5% yesterday. I think the FUD around the delay of Blackwell due to overheating issues was just FUD. People bought the dip opportunity ahead of today's print. This will be a massive one because if I think the implied move on the today's earnings is like around 10%, which is kind of crazy because this is a $4 trillion company. Essentially, the markets or the option chain is pricing in that Nvidia is going to make or lose $400 billion. Absolutely absurd. But that's the environment we're in. So nobody really knows when that margin deterioration or pricing power is going to start diminishing from Nvidia, and we're going to get that tell, to be honest, on more on the big tech earnings, like because you're going to see the capex spend for Meta, Microsoft, Google, not really as much in the Nvidia's actual earnings today, but still, it's going to be a lot of commentary on Blackwell, what the future guide's going to be. And I do think that we should see what the charts are going to show. Like, Jordan, you want to bring up chart art right now and see what's happened?
yeah, let's get that up if we can. In the back end. Here we go.
Perfect. All
Beautiful.
right, so let's just play a hypothetical scenario. Let's say Nvidia does go down 10%. What does that mean for essentially the whole market? Because Nvidia's hands are in so many different industries, so many different segments
We
across.
all know the semis have been leading everything, right? So, I mean, if
Exactly.
it really, in my opinion, where Nvidia goes today, the market's gonna follow eventually. Of course, other sectors do play a role in the market, right? And if we see massive market rotation into a different sector and out of semis massively, then that's a tell for maybe the market to hold up. But you got to follow what's led the market this whole year, and that's been semis, right? So where Nvidia goes, like that's where I'm gonna trust that QQQ is really gonna follow for the most part.
Yeah, I mean the SMH, which is the VanEck ETF, that's my favorite vehicle to capture sentiment on semiconductors. They are teetering on breaking a key level that or key technical they've kind of maintained throughout this rally in 2024. Like if you guys haven't noticed, like the rally we've experienced the past couple weeks, it hasn't really been the obvious winners in 2024. It's the breadth has widened. It's been other names catching bids when semis are kind of lagging. That is creating somewhat of heartburn with a lot of investors because you kind of need the semis to run for the longevity of a bull market rally because again, heavy component of so many different industries and indices as well. Right now they're teetering on the 21 EMA on the weekly chart. If Nvidia goes down 10%, I really think this ETF will go down even more than that. And not just that, like I think tech will go down 2% tomorrow. I think it would just be a trickle effect, especially ahead of next week, which is Thanksgiving week, low volume. Everyone's not at their desk,
I agree. Yeah, people are taking
whatever's
that
being
time
priced
off,
in.
man. They want to
Exactly.
de-risk. They wanna take some time off and not have a headache while they're
hmm
enjoying Thanksgiving, right? So yeah,
So
I agree.
that's why today's a really big day. But
Hmm.
yeah, looking at the chart, SMH is going to break down potentially, or maybe this is what it needs to bounce off that key level and now retest those all-time highs. AMD, we talked about on Monday. all that FUD generated from Blackwell delay, that is AMD's game because AMD's problem is an Nvidia problem, not an actual AMD problem. Nvidia is just innovating too quickly for AMD to kind of sit at the table. But look at that bounce level for AMD. Like if
It's
Nvidia does
AMD's at
deliver,
a massive spot. I've been watching it very closely because if we get traction out of this area, I mean, we're in massive demand, right?
Mhm.
So I'm watching very closely. But at the end of the day, Nvidia comes in with a poor report. That support's gonna break, and it looks like it could be very nasty. You know what I mean? But real quick, I just wanted to give a shout out to the Chart Art newsletter. Make sure you guys are subscribed. If you're not, you guys can get all this info as well. So just wanted to shout that out real quick.
yeah, I mean, first off, yeah, newsletters is the new form of like digesting all the data out there. Like there's just so like I never go on CNN. I never go on CNBC anymore. Like that's the old media, and that's a lot of fluff and just a lot of noise. Newsletters is really where I get the actual insights. So like,
Well, by the time
um,
it hits the media, is it really something you want to be following, right?
exa
That's the way
ex
I think about it. When I get an email newsletter like this, from people that I know are doing this stuff for real, I trust that a little bit more than any news outlet that's gonna throw me something. So yeah, highly recommend that.
yeah, 100%. So like, I will, we can move on, I guess, from the daily art. Should we browse stock twits to see what the sentiment is this
Yeah, let's.
morning?
I wanted to take a look at stock twits real quick. If
Yeah,
do you want to bring it up real quick?
yeah. Let me bring it
Sounds
up.
good. Obviously, want to see what people are thinking about Nvidia there, but it's gonna be interesting. I don't know if you saw Target as well. Target had earnings this morning, down
Ooh,
pretty
yeah.
heavily.
I
Let me see
guarantee.
the percentage here. Yeah, it's down. Oh gosh, that's nasty. What is that? 22%
Yeah.
there
So, oh, it's
overnight.
down 22 now. Jeez.
Oh, well, it's no, that was at the lows. It's now back to 17.35. That's a rough earnings though. I did not listen to the earnings call at all. But it looks like they missed on revenue and EPS, a
Well,
0.90% miss on revenue, 19.57% miss on EPS. That's pretty rough there.
I mean,
So not looking too good for Target. What do you think about that, Shay?
I made a hot take on Monday that turned out to be somewhat of a reality. Where, again, I think Target is a decent business. I'm seeing a lot of signs that I saw with Walgreens, where Target like, in this retail space, it's not okay to have a name presence anymore because you've seen it with Macy's, CVS, Walgreens. Like that does deteriorate over time if you can um, provide the offerings necessary for consumers to spend their money at your stores. Right now, if you're a retail store, there's only two things that you need to tackle to incentivize consumers to spend money at your store. It's convenience and pricing. Convenience, you're already seeing with Walmart and Costco. And you're seeing Walmart and Costco dominate the pricing and convenience factor where uh, cheapest retail out there, but not just that, like the logistics and like the subscription model that both those companies have makes it a lot easier for myself. Like I'll just go buy on Walmart, add the subscription via American Express partnership, and it'll get delivered to my doorstep, and it's really seamless and like efficient. It's great. Target doesn't have either of those benefits right now. They're not the cheapest. Their e-commerce side of the business is an absolute shit show. Their subscription business was absolutely a flop. So what does Target really offer except for I don't know, like my fiance and her friends to enjoy spending their money in Q4 due to the holiday season? Like
Yeah, right.
that's
That's what's
it's
keeping
really
Target
specific.
alive.
Exactly. That's not a good enough argument to hold
No,
the stock. Like
not
I
at
just
all.
think I don't know, in 5 to 7 years, like I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing Target trend lower, lower and lower, and the distance between them and like the Walmarts, the Costco's just get bigger and bigger, and now they turn into a this gray area of like, ah, it's not gonna really be one of the leaders in the future, and they're in no man's land, and now they're gonna get no appetite like Walgreens is, CVS is, Macy's is, Ross
Again,
stores,
well,
like
and you see the reflection in the stock price again. Like I'll keep
yeah.
saying this every time we talk about like what's going on with the company, and then I mean, look at the stock price. Look at Walmart. You look at WMT right now. Let's see, I'll share my screen. I mean,
Yeah.
just look at this chart here. This is outrageous. So,
Yeah, let
I
me
mean,
stop sharing.
and then you look at Target, and obviously Target's not in the dumps. It's not doing really horrible. Well, it's getting there now with the earnings, but it's not as bad as I don't know. I would think, but at the end of the day, it's no Walmart. It's not making any continuous higher highs
Well,
whatsoever, right? It's a clear reflection in the stock price, and I think that's very important to note that hey, what the company's actually doing and whether they're doing good. That's doing innovative things. It's important, right, on whether or not the stock's actually going to do what you want. So, uh,
I mean, two metrics. That's all you have to know between Walmart and Target. Walmart's e-commerce business went up 27% year over year. This most recent print.
and let's be real, e-commerce is it right now. You have to be in the
You
e-commerce
have to.
business if you're retail, or else it's just not. You're not going to stay around. It's just
And
not going to
and
happen.
guess what Target's was? 10%. That's the difference right there. Like that is like I know like there's a ton of different metrics you can go into for both companies, but really the growth avenues going forward for both is e-commerce. Target Walmart has a much wider base than Target, and they're growing 3 times as quickly as what Target's is on the digital sales. Like they need to get their shit together before it's too late. And that's my 2 cents. Also, TJ Maxx, I think is a better offering than Target. And TJ Maxx report, I don't even know what TJ Maxx is doing today. Let's see what they're doing. They report this morning. But either way, we can move off retail because I know that isn't the most interesting on an Nvidia day. So we can
Well, shout out to Nvidia Day again, real quick. If you guys, I know StockTwit's got some really cool merch. Shop.stocktwits.com. They got some in Jensen We Trust, like shirts, hoodies. So check that out if you're interested. I thought that was super funny. I think I'm gonna get myself one. Because we're repping the Jensen wear right now.
listen.
But I need a
Walking in a
hoodie.
bar with that shirt would be dope. I wonder how many
Exactly.
people would
That's
come. Like the bros would come up to you, like,
See,
dude,
that's what I'm
yeah.
thinking. I'm trying to find the bros out when I'm in public. Oh gosh. All right, what do we got here? Market
Daily
structure.
rip. Let's look at
Oh,
this.
let's go. Guys,
Yeah, if you,
shout out Daily Rep. Over 1 million subscribers here. If you're not subscribed, you need to be subscribed. Just throwing that out there right now.
yeah, I mean, first off, 1 million got the 2 comma club. That's pretty rare. So
Let's go,
that's
baby.
it's got to have the quality to back that up, and it definitely does. So, Bulls are back in town. Let's see this for yeah. I mean, Nvidia Day. It's just I can't tell you guys like how rare it is for one company to have the hands in so many different industries and businesses. It doesn't happen. It rarely happens. People say like, "Oh, Apple used to be like that." No, it wasn't. Apple was never a
Not like
B2B
this.
company.
Not
It
in
was
this
yeah,
way
it
at
was
all.
consumers,
No.
not
Yeah,
businesses really. So like
absolutely.
Nvidia is the health of a lot of companies. And that's why
I just
Jensen
don't
is
think
the
you
most
can bet
powerful man.
against it right now, Shy. I mean, last earnings was the first time I saw like a real change in the chart from normal, which was like it was a little more IV crush, but like overall it didn't really matter after a few weeks, right? At the end of the day,
Yeah.
though, I can't sit here and like bet against the earnings when the track record has when we've done what we've done. Like, how am I supposed to bet against that until I really see something that's horrible, that's scaring me out of it? You know what I mean? I just don't sit comfortable with thinking Nvidia's gonna tank, right? But of course, anything can happen, and you got to stay in that mindset of anything can happen. But
Well, it's the
tough.
psychology behind investors. Like they see, oh, it's up 200% this year after being up a couple 100% last year. Like there's going to be a top. I agree,
Yeah.
but it's not right now. It's not when Blackwell is about to get released and sold out for the next year, and they're just going to maintain their dominance. Like it's not right now. There is going to be a time where there's going to be a pause on what Nvidia's pricing power is, but I think it's really ballsy of you to assume it's going to happen right now when Blackwell hasn't been really released yet. But yeah,
Well, because most of the time the argument is just it's gone up so much, it's got to come down, which I get, especially being like as a trader, right? And like less, I mean, I'm a long term investor as well, but less of an investor and more of a trader, right? So I'm I'm thinking the same thing, but it's just it's tough to call that top, right? You got to wait for
mhm.
an actual indication. I mean, we haven't seen a real market structure change in Nvidia whatsoever at all. I mean, any pullback, any sideways action, it's been healthy consolidation, healthy structure for more upside, right? And everything
Hmm.
fundamentally has supported that. So it's just, again, reflection in the stock price. It's like you think it can't keep going up. You almost, it's almost like if you're going to chase something, right? Something like that is like your best option. Obviously,
Hmm.
chasing is not a great idea, but these institutions and stuff, they're a lot of the time kind of chasing these positions and waiting for the right time because they know where this can extend to, right? They have a way different mindset than retail does, right? When we might
Hmm.
think we're chasing, this is really the only start, the only the beginning of this move, right? So it's just it's something to think about there, right? When you have fundamentals, everything going for you here, it's like okay, if I'm gonna dip into something and kind of chase after something, this is probably what I'm looking for, right?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think Lenny just had a comment on YouTube about that. They're years away. I absolutely agree with that. I think the argument right now that the Bears have is that that year away years advantage they have over all the competitors is diminishing rapidly, but the market's like pricing in like, oh, they have 2027 right now. It's gonna when the gap's gonna start closing. But the Bears are saying it's happening like next year. So yeah, I do think that
I think things are going to be interesting, obviously with new president in office and with potential tariffs, right? But I I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be this massive headway, at least until
well,
until I see that it's a massive headway, if that makes sense, right? I mean, I can't bet against it again.
this is a cool little feature right here. Do you see this polls and activity on this where you can see the Google search trend for like my Nvidia stock cooling, sentiment, message volume. Like I will say like I'm really bullish on Nvidia. I don't love that everyone is bullish on Nvidia. It looks like it's extremely bullish. I'm like, oof. When everyone's sitting on one side of the boat, it tends to tilt. I don't think that's the case today. I'm hoping not, but
I don't
that
think
is
so
pretty.
either, but generally I think the same thing, right? If I run some polls on Twitter or something, I'll generally try and fade the consensus of everybody else, right? But hard to do again with Nvidia and the track record it has. It's just it's gonna
Well,
be it's gonna be a fun day. I'm excited for it, and we're gonna see what happens.
also, this like information you're getting in this newsletter isn't just like a couple hundred people voting. This is like if you guys know StockTwits. It's like the OG platform for everything that we do kind of on Fintway. There's thousands of people who participate in these polls. This is a real sentiment that captures a lot of the retail audience, investors. So like that is I want to provide that caveat because a lot of people post on Twitter about polls. Like, all right, there's a caveat. It's like a couple, like maybe like 5,000 people participate in that. This is hundreds of thousands. So like it's a very different situation. And the Google
Absolutely.
search trend for Nvidia stock has cooled off slightly since its last earnings report, but remains elevated. That's an interesting call out too, where it isn't as much. Like I feel like last quarter people were a little more bearish. Maybe it was because the sentiment in the macro was way different in the market. Where like right now, if your company reports earnings and you guide down, like you won't get severely punished. Like you won't be down 20, 25%. It's gonna be like 8 to 10%. Um, and then it's
Well, I
going.
definitely think a lot more people were bearish last earnings as well, just going, like you said, sentiment going into that new month from August into September, right? I think that the whole sentiment there was like, okay, downside for the market. Maybe this is the time where Nvidia actually takes a hit, right? And it kind of it did a little bit.
Yeah, I want to see what people are saying about Nvidia. Actually, I'm really curious
Yeah, let's
since
see.
that everyone's
We haven't
extremely
checked stock
bullish.
twits yet. Let's take a look.
Happy stock would say. This image could not be any more true. It's
Yeah,
so scary.
I know. I see it every time Nvidia earnings comes around. That's the famous image, and it could not be more true for the market.
Yeah, I mean, I think people are in good spirits about Nvidia today. Like again, this could be a dreadful tomorrow morning's episode can be absolutely dreadful if Nvidia doesn't deliver. So let's hope that doesn't happen. But I don't know about if it'll propel SMCI. I think SMCI is going through a short squeeze right now because they're not going to be delisted. So essentially,
Yeah,
they're still not the like the hot girl at the club. The bouncer's not kicking them out of the club, but they're still not like you don't want to dance with SMCI at the dance floor. Like
nah.
that's the type of situation right now for SMCI. Like it's fine, it's in the club, but like I don't think it's going to be a good dancing partner.
I agree. I agree. I think I mean if you're looking for something to move off sentiment of Nvidia, I mean you got your QQQ, you got your AMD.
Well, this would
Um,
be wild if it hits 200 this year after this print, which would be a 30% move in 6 weeks, 10% move after today. Let's just say like the option chain is right, it goes up 10%, blow off earnings. That's gonna hit geez, 165, and that's still a big
that's
track.
a
Holy,
big move.
yeah, 165 200. That might be a little tough before end of the year, but who knows? Santa Rally is kind of crazy, especially in a time when everything's going great right now in the market. Um, oh man, everyone's so freaking bullish. This freaks me out a little. I don't know about this.
Yeah, Lenny was saying tariffs could have an impact, though. I will admit. What do you think about that if that hits hard, Shy, with
I
Nvidia?
think it will, but market's not caring for some reason. I think
I know.
first
Yeah.
off, the bond market's believing it. I think the actual equity market's pricing in like the bark is louder than the bites, or it doesn't really matter as much, which is surprising because it's gonna hit the semiconductors significantly. You're seeing it right now with ASML. Like ASML, TSM, Nvidia had the three best monopolies among semiconductors. Like there's no one who could compete with them. They're the tier one plays. SMCI, I mean not SMCI. Ooh, that's like tier eight. Ignore what I just said. Like not SMCI. ASML is monopoly. Their EUV technology is absolutely necessary to make chips smaller and more powerful. No other competition. But they're red for this year. They're down 10% in 2024, and they're like down 50% from their all-time highs. It's because their China exposure is like at 40% this year. And it's getting affected already. And now with Trump being president, there is going to be additional tariffs due to the bullying nature of China and US trade wars when Trump is president. It's inevitable. I think that's being priced into ASML, but it's being priced in specific stocks, but not as a whole. Like I guess Nvidia's doesn't really have that much China exposure. I should know this, but I don't know their vulnerability to China. I don't think it's too much, but TSM is also like not catching a major bid either because of worries of if China's put in a corner, what are they going to do as their Hail Mary? They're going to invade Taiwan. I don't think that's going to happen, but if that does happen, I think you should grab as much cash as possible and sell everything. It's gonna be a shit show of a market, and there's buy puts, there's buy puts. But
You know
yeah,
what
I
we
mean,
need to take a look at that's up a lot this morning. MSTU, that two times leverage ticker from Rec Shares of MSTR. Check that on StockTwits.
it's up
See it.
16%. Is
Yes.
MSTR up 8% today?
Must be.
Must be. That's if you guys don't know, MSTU is. If you guys thought MSTR was an absolute like volatile company, like vehicle for crypto, this is the 2x leveraged
Let me
ETF.
just say, since inception, since the very low that it hit at 2406 to right now that it's up 918%, give or take a little bit.
Guys, this
Wow.
launched in September, like 2 months ago.
Hmm.
It's up 10x in 2 months. And this isn't an option. This is equity. Absolute wild move on
Ridiculous.
MST. What's the AUM now? I think this is probably the
Let me check.
fast AUM growth I've ever seen on
Yeah,
an ETF product, like by a mile.
2.27 billion AUM right now.
They just grew this
Wow.
MSTU to 2. Oh my God,
That's
over 2
outrageous.
billion.
Guys, I don't that is ridiculous. I don't think I've ever seen something do that like an ETF come out two times leverage and do that ever. That is just
Listen,
ridiculous. Wow.
I mean, I personally think MSTR is a Ponzi, but I'm still a
Doesn't mean you
capitalist.
can't make it
Yeah, I was
back,
like, yeah,
right?
yeah. This is a great vehicle to capture big. If you think Bitcoin's gonna hit 100,000, this can hit $300. That's kind of mentality you need to have. Where if Bitcoin goes up 10%, I think this MSTU specifically is 5x whatever Bitcoin's move is. Bitcoin's up 10%. I think MSTU would be up 50%. That's the type of nature, and especially when if you there's some talk yesterday on Michael Saylor pitching to Microsoft's board on adopting Bitcoin as part of their cash reserve, or balance sheet. I think if big tech incorporates Bitcoin into their balance sheet, I can't describe. I'm like not a crypto bull, but I can't describe to you guys how bullish that would be for Bitcoin. Like it would just be dumb how bullish it is. And I actually think there's a reality to it. Like if you go on Polymarket, they the chance of that happening is 14% that Microsoft's going to actually vote yes to approve what Michael Saylor's pitching. But I do think that Bitcoin is more valuable than silver now, and it's becoming more valuable than these commodities that's been around for a long, long time. I think it's safe to say Bitcoin will be part of the financial future of this world. It's going to be a digital gold. That's essentially what it is. It's going to be gold, silver, Bitcoin. Those are the three, in my opinion, of
I think so
actual
too.
commodities.
It gets tough when you get into the altcoins and everything and stuff like that, right? But Bitcoin, even Ethereum itself, I do think yeah, it's gonna be part of our financial system for sure. As long as we don't all just want to get our Lambo and get out, right? As long as
There's going to be some
everybody's
Lambos made, though. That's the
there,
wild thing.
there
I
will be
know.
some Lambos made for sure. But I just hope everyone sees
Damn, this
the
guy,
end goal for that more.
60K
Wow,
in MSTU. Good for you, buddy.
that is awesome.
That is nuts. Oh, also, this makes sense now. I forgot that Trump, he got a crypto lawyer to be the new SEC chair. So, I don't think you can
That's
get
just
anyone more
even better.
bullish.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
even better for your crypto bags. Wow. Shy, we got snow earnings as well after the close today. Pan W. I know you're watching snow. Honestly, just looking at the chart
This is wild.
technically,
I
it's
did not know it was
it's made a
bullish.
nice base on that 110 area around there. It's really made a nice base and looking good. If this has a good earnings, man, I think you might have some decent upside potential here. But
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
know. You got thoughts? How we feeling?
yeah, so Snowflake, I think Ethereum is it could be like the gold oil. I think it's very much like the contracts, but also like after speaking with Duncan yesterday, like, I didn't realize Solana's eating Ethereum's lunch. So like that is a competition for Ethereum. But yeah, Snowflake today. So I am one of the maybe few public Snowflake bulls because it's hard. Narrative follows price action, and Snowflake's down 40% this year. It's down like 70% probably from all-time highs. Like a lot of people don't like to sticking their neck out to on losing stocks because A, diminishes your brand. I could give a fuck about my brand. I'm all about like finding the high quality companies. And B, catching a falling knife is not a good strategy. I know Snowflake anecdotally, like inside and out. As Jordan is aware, I probably have been talking about all year. I look
Shy
like a
deep
schmuck so
dives,
far.
guys. He
Yeah,
goes deep. He will write up a whole tweet. I mean, deep dive. So
I love Snowflake. I think
yeah,
it's going to be so the market is pricing Snowflake as this data warehouse company that's going to be cannibalized by AI. I see Snowflake as the data platform for enterprise AI. The reason it's not being reflected right now is because Frank Slootman, the previous CEO, was an absolute dog when it came to AI thematic. He didn't believe in it. He either was checked out, he's a software salesman at heart and just doesn't believe in this disruptive technology like AI, or maybe he was trying to sell Snowflake. Either way, Snowflake was playing catch up because of what Frank Slootman's issue was. Then they got this new CEO who is absolute AI genius to the extent that when Sam Altman was about to get fired for that incest stuff he was doing last year, end of last year, that rumors, I think it was like Q4, the new CEO from Snowflake was on the short list, like the top three of replacing him at OpenAI. That just shows like he is an AI visionary. So he's the new CEO of Snowflake right now, and he started 6 or 9 months ago. And he also came from Google specifically. He ran the whole ad department at Google. Like he is impressive. But when you play catch up on a secular growth theme like AI, that entails a lot of investment dollars. Right now, they had to acquire a ton of compute from Nvidia. That's really expensive still. And no, all these expenses that's related to AI has been factored into their guide, but zero revenue recognition is from those investments. That right there is the definition of a sandbag. When you spend this much money on AI, on compute, that's going to create more AI products. That's going to reflect more revenue and upselling down the line. Right now, the guide does not reflect that, and that's really smart because as a new CEO, you don't really want to overpromise, underdeliver. You want to do the opposite, underpromise, overdeliver. That's what's happening at Snowflake, but Snowflake is just being priced down significantly. Where like Palantir is being priced at 120 times next year's free cash
See, but
flow.
I like your thesis though, and if you're potentially right here, you're getting beautiful prices for this stock, right?
I mean, I
And
think it's a
that's
$300
risk you
stock
got to
next
take.
year. That's the
Exactly.
thing. Like, I think it's a triple
So if you believe
or double
that,
now.
right, and you have your spots that you're looking at, it's a no-brainer, right? You pick your spots, you take it, and you play it accordingly until you know you're wrong or it hits, right? It's
That's the thing. I gotta
simple as
break up
that.
with it if I'm wrong, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
give it more time. That's the thing. Like right now, it's going through that margin deterioration investment cycle. That's kryptonite for investors. They hate that. They want to hold the bag when they're like trying to figure out their shits. I think this earnings season, this to today's print, I think you're going to see a very similar reaction that you saw at Atlassian 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, where Atlassian is the bread and butter for DevOps tools. But Jira, their bread and butter, their best product is getting that product's getting duplicated across a lot of different companies. Like Palantir has a very competitive product to Jira, and everyone's saying that Atlassian will get cannibalized from AI until a couple weeks ago, their earnings were like, whoa, they're not getting cannibalized. They're one of the beneficiaries off it, getting actual revenue from Gen AI projects. And now it's up 40% since the last print. I think Snowflake has a similar sentiment issue as Atlassian, and they're going to experience a similar catalyst, hopefully, that Atlassian did a couple weeks ago. And once Snowflake goes past 200, narrative falls stock price. People are going to say, oh, they're going to be a necessary part of the future AI tech stack and business as usual. That's what happens. Palantir under $10, people view them as a black box consulting company. Above $60, they're the enterprise AI winner and everyone wants their hands on it. Business is identical, but the price action is different. That's what I mean by narrative false price action.
Yeah, I see Lenny was wondering if we like SoFi. I know SoFi has been ripping. I've been checking out the chart. I'll share my
Yeah,
screen here.
watch your words,
Um,
Jordan. You want to anger the SoFi audience.
yeah. I mean, here's technically, I don't invest in SoFi, right? I don't invest in the company. So from that standpoint, like I don't really care about it. But I mean, as a trading vehicle, you look at this over the past few weeks, it has done phenomenal. These higher highs, just absolutely ripping to the upside, right? So I think technically over the past, few weeks, over a month or so, it's been a beautiful trade. I don't see a reason to really be fleeing positions here. Obviously, we're coming up to some big areas that were a bit of a problem in the past. But I think until you see a real market structure change here, you're looking great. If you're holding SoFi personally, I mean, look at this just this morning making a higher high, beautiful in this range. So looking really
So,
good. I don't know what do you think, Shy? I don't think I know your thoughts on SoFi at all.
so I'm not bullish on fintech in general. It's a low margin, competitive business. Competitors keep cannibalizing each other's take rate because essentially they have no moats. SoFi right now for me, I don't know how to value them as a fintech company or a bank. If it's a bank, it's overvalued. It belongs, I think, $8 or $9. If it's a fintech company, it's got a lot of runway. But either way, I'm blanking on their name. There's a tech components of SoFi that they acquired like 5 years ago. Starts with a T. Or no, it's Galileo. Actually, sorry, it's Galileo. I'm pretty sure it is. That has not grown at all in the past like year or so. Like that needs to kind of for them to have that fintech narrative, that side of their business needs to sequentially grow and be the AWS to fintech names companies. It hasn't really proven that yet. So right now, underwriting them as a bank, and again, I'm just not bullish in fintech. I don't see a moat between all these like hundreds of names in that space. Like they're all very similar to the product. But I will say the one company, fintech company that does have a moat, it's proven, is Robinhood. You guys have to like know that UI experience is an absolute moat, especially with all these brokerages, SoFi, the
One and
Schwab TD
Robinhood
Ameritrade
captures
merger.
everybody, right? Straight
Exactly.
from the beginning, they capture all the newest investors that are looking to get into it, and it's flashy. It looks good, and that's important when
You
you're
go back to it every single day. That's the
exactly.
moats.
I
Like,
still have it, even though I don't use it for my daily, my daily trading brokerage. You know what I mean? I still use it to this day. So UI is important for sure.
100%. And I think maybe that's why they're the only tier one fintech player, in my opinion, of all the names. PayPal had a first mover advantage via Venmo. They did nothing with it, but they have a lot of data because of the first mover advantage. And hopefully Braintree does become something. Square, I think Jack Dorsey's one of the worst CEOs on like in history. I think that might be a hot take, or I might be in the minority, but I think he just destroys shareholder value. I don't even know the
I
other.
wouldn't disagree. I mean,
Well, what he did with Tidal was absolutely absurd. He used that acquisition to become homies with Jay-Z, so you can like go to cool places and hang out with them. Like that's my actual two. He's very Evan-like from Snapchat. Like I think they're very cut from the same cloth
yeah, and
type of
if you
people.
listen to the past few shows, we know that Shy does not like Evan from Snapchat. He's not like that guy.
Say as all the Snapchat shareholders shouldn't either. Look at your performance. Like
Yeah,
Meta's like
exactly.
4xing in that time span. But I will say we are gonna have Ben from Weekend Rib join us shortly, and if you guys haven't experienced his show, it's freaking entertaining. I
He's
laugh.
great.
Yeah, he's really fun. It's really hard to talk about this kind of material in a comedic fashion and make it entertaining. Like he provides the detainment part of infotainment. So I'm excited
Absolutely.
to have him hop on shortly. But let's see what the price action is so far in the market.
Yeah,
What are
I
we
haven't.
noticing?
I've just been looking at everything on a higher time frame, so I haven't really seen what's going on here. But I mean, general markets look pretty choppy, which I expect probably for majority of the day, right? Everything waiting on Nvidia. But I don't know. I'm trying to keep my eyes on any individual names that might be out there that have relative strength that might be getting a little bit of a run or a dump. So
I
we'll
mean,
see. But I don't see anything that's jumping at me right now, to be honest.
I just see Snowflake
Coinbase.
above 130, which is rare. What's Coinbase doing? Oh my God. Yeah.
Coinbase went through my price target of 327. That was my last target on my trade. I took it, and now we're sitting at
Jeez.
332.56. So definitely left some money on the table there, but that's all right.
Mm,
We'll. I mean, we're just hitting these previous highs now that we were hitting
I mean,
a few days ago, but
crypto,
looking
I
good.
don't think there's a thematic like the setup is more bullish right now than crypto, like entering 2025. I really don't see any bearish catalyst. Like what could there be where you have Trump just like juicing up that crypto with like the major players who can help not commercialize it, but actually get it through regulations and become like a bigger and bigger component of the US government, US lives, etc. If he's doing all this stuff right now, I can't imagine the next 4 years.
I,
Like,
I I say the same thing about Tesla too. It's like Elon's got a lot of power now. I see. I mean, you think Tesla has ripped a lot already? I personally think these 6 months of 2025 are going to be outrageous. I think we're going to see Tesla do
first
some
100
crazy
days, I'm
numbers.
telling you.
Yeah, I think it's going to be ridiculous, and we're gonna feel like we're chasing. But I mean, I'm not. I was buying in the dumps, guys. I was buying when everybody was telling me not to, and I'm
That's what you're
happy I
supposed
did.
to
But
do.
let me tell
Yeah.
you how scary it was. I mean, I have about 49% of my long-term portfolio in Tesla. I'm a big believer in Tesla. Majority of my
50
money is there.
first off, I can't believe you didn't round. You should just say
I
50%.
know, 50%.
That's
I have to,
wild though.
dude. It's wild. I have a lot of money in there, for me. But dude. I love my Tesla, and it's working out really well. So we'll
Well,
we'll see
you
how
got
that continues. You guys,
you
you
got to
guys can
swing
track
big.
that
You
as
got to
well.
swing
Yeah,
big.
got to
You're
swing.
swinging big.
Absolutely, man.
Uh,
Don't worry, I stay diversified on the other 50%.
I have 49
Hey,
1% positions
hey,
and then
I'm young.
51% in Tesla.
If
Yeah.
if I'm gonna take the risk now, okay, I'm gonna take the risk now. I'm young. Oh, it looks like Ben's gonna be joining us. Let's go. Oh, here he is, the man, the myth, the legend.
What's up, Ben?
Oh, oh,
Oh,
hey, oh my God, I'm thrust. Are we live?
we are live.
Oh my God. Oh my God. This is so exciting. Hey guys, good morning.
Did you
What's
not get
up?
the memo? We're going out after the stream. Like that.
Yeah,
Jordan and I are
yeah.
wearing the leather
We're going
jackets.
to the
Like,
club.
yeah.
I just was, oh, nice Kershaw jersey up there. I just assumed that I'd be in the waiting room first or something. But also, good morning, boys from the West Coast. Am I the only one? Wait, Shy, you're on the West Coast, right?
We're all LA people.
Yeah.
What the hell is the matter with you? Why are you up so? What? I mean, 5 a.m.
love
You
it.
guys started this?
Yep.
Of course, dude.
Of course.
Good Lord!
course.
I woke
You're
up at
making me-
3:30.
How old are you guys? Are you? You're just
22. So I don't need sleep. Yeah.
Well, I'm 30. I'm 31 now, so like I think sleep's boring. So like I'm like happy when it's over when I wake up in the morning. I know I'm like in the minority on that.
You young men. Yeah, I do feel old. I'm 37, and I have no excuse. I really ought to just be better about my waking up. But so what have I missed?
Well, we covered a lot of Nvidia talk, of course.
Yeah.
What's
lot of
what do you
earnings
think's
talk.
going to happen in Nvidia? I
Yeah.
know first off, sentiment on stock tweets is extremely bullish. I
Yeah.
think Jordan and I just said before you hopped on, like it will take a lot for the stock to go down 10%. It's most likely, in my opinion, just going to be down like 3%, 2%. If you're an option seller, you're going to win
Yeah.
probably today. But what's your take on it?
Well, okay, I'm pulling up the options chain. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like it's pricing in about $5.50 on the call side and about $6 on the put side. I mean, it'll probably spike.
Oh wow,
up.
it went lower. I think it was at 8% yesterday. So interesting.
Well, I mean, yeah, okay, so. And looking at the chart, obviously it's just on the cusp of all-time highs again. I personally, I'm not one of those contrarian guys because I think that can just get tired real fast and really kind of get you nowhere. Because as Howard doesn't say this, but the trend is your friend, and I do believe in that. And fighting the trend has lost me countless dollars over the years. So seeing that like the sentiment is uber bullish doesn't necessarily give me pause at all. It just means that yeah, most of these people are probably right. I personally have some puts. I have some 140 puts for December 6th.
Puts as hedges for your portfolio, or just a straight like you're playing. You think it's gonna go down?
I have hedges on my portfolio in the way of SPY and triple Q puts.
Gotcha.
Those are further dated. I have some March ones.
I got some March ones too. 550 SPY puts on March. I love that one.
I have the 580s and I have some end of December puts. But I mean, God, my hedges, it's so annoying because I always get pissed whenever they go down, and I have to remind myself, well, hey,
It's a good thing. Yeah.
I grit my teeth. I'm like, oh, that's why they're hedges. But I just hate to lose anyway. Anyway, all that said, Nvidia, I already sold half of them. I had profited off that recent drop because I bought them a little over a week ago, and I'm still holding the other half. I'm more in it just as a straight up kind of gamble at this point. I do think that it's now priced for perfection. And also, I really got to caveat it with, I don't know jack squat about what people are looking for on this thing anymore. I don't pay attention.
Well,
really
it's tough
to what-
when it's just straight up.
Yeah.
Everybody's bullish, right? It's like, yeah, I
mean-
I understand.
I personally own about 5 of these Blackwell chips, so I'm. That's a joke because they're.
Of course. I was like,
costs
he's calling in from his Bel Air mansion and
Yeah.
he's dropping that. He has 5 Blackwell chips.
Yeah, look at. I mean, look at this. I do have a Restoration Hardware Cloud sofa, but it is used.
It's
That is-
used.
That is, I mean, Kim Kardashian owns one of those bad boys. That's all I'll say. But and it is very comfortable. But yeah, I think that which one of you, Jordan? Did you say that the option writers are going to be the winners?
No,
On
I think the option sellers will be the winners because I
Yes,
think
I agree,
I'm betting
though.
it's gonna be at 145 by tomorrow. Like it's gonna be
Yeah.
like that price.
It's probably
Generally, that's your best bet when trading earnings. If you can find the right play, there is selling options rather than playing a directional play. And if you're playing
Unless
directional, it's just
unless
always
Palantir.
Yeah, true. But and then always like if you're doing directional, it's just like always hedge it, right? You can always do like a 2-to-1 call to put ratio, whatever you want,
Yeah.
and be able to hedge yourself.
And with something like Nvidia, let's not forget that you can also play the likes of Broadcom. You can play AVGO. You can play, I
Play two
guess,
times leverage
Arm,
shares as
Arm
well. I play
Holdings a big
shares
one for it
sometimes and
too.
just do after hours pre-market trading as well.
yeah. Boy, that just reminds me of how upset I am about MicroStrategy. I will never live it down that I just when they first announced that they were going to do the Bitcoin strategy and it was pre-split at like $150, and I just thought, what is this company? Pass.
It's a software company trying to do Bitcoin. Feels sketch.
Yeah,
I
right.
mean, truly good for Michael Saylor. I made fun of him on my show a couple times, um, back back in the day, and I am not too proud or ashamed to say that I have had to eat my own dick because he just, I mean, the guy, he was right. I mean, look at what he's done with this stock, and oh God. And I've made money on it because again, the trend is your friend, and I'm not one to just sit by and trash talk it. I'm going to
Ben,
participate.
have you seen MSTU?
Yes, and what was the other
Oh,
one? MSTX.
yeah.
And yeah, there's
First off,
MSTU, which is the double leveraged, and then there's
Yeah.
MSTX, which is
I mean, it's a 10x in 2 months.
the
Uh-oh.
oh,
double leveraged.
Ben's glitching a bit,
Either
but
way,
There he is. We're good.
I do think Michael Saylor's the modern day Bernie Madoff. I really do think MicroStrategies is the biggest Ponzi that exists right now. It's working,
interesting.
but
It's working.
as if
But for how long?
if Bitcoin hits 60K, he's fucked. I don't know what he's gonna do. Like he's just
Yeah.
really screwed.
I'll tell you what he's going to do if Bitcoin hits 60K.
He's gonna buy more Bitcoin.
He's going to sell more shares and he's going to buy more Bitcoin. You know what drives me absolutely fucking bananas is I don't understand what the good folks at GameStop. I mentioned this on my show last week. I don't know why they aren't employing that same strategy.
We were talking about it.
I said yesterday
Why
that's
don't
gonna
they
be
do
that's
that?
gonna be new financial engineering. Is
Yeah.
like instead of filing bankruptcy, they're gonna convert all their cash to Bitcoin and hope it just runs. Like, why is Spirit Airlines not doing that instead of filing
Well,
for bankruptcy?
right. And I mean, I don't know if you guys saw this. Genius Brands ticker symbol is GNS. They announced it yesterday. I mean, it's just a dog shit penny stock, but they said, "Oh, we just bought $10 million worth of Bitcoin at fucking 90,000 per Bitcoin." Uh, the stock did nothing. It didn't react. But GameStop in particular, it's already got all the pieces in place. It is a it's an adored, loved meme stock. I'm sure that the Venn diagram of GameStop shareholders and Bitcoiners is probably a perfect circle. Uh, it would please everybody has seen the success that MicroStrategy has enjoyed
Yeah.
from employing this strategy. GameStop has the cash. If they were to put out an announcement, and if what's the Chewy guy? If the what's his name? Cohen? Ryan Cohen.
Ryan Cohen, yeah.
Ryan Cohen comes out and announces that they're also turning into a Bitcoin holdings company. It would send it to $100 a share easy, man. And I don't understand why they're not doing it. That board of director. I mean, I'm not again. I also poo-pooed the GameStop people. It broke my heart. I owned 6,000 shares of it in the teens, pre-split in my IRA. And then I sold. I made like I don't know 12 grand, and I thought, hot diggity, another good trade for old Benny boy. And then it goes to like 20, and I'm like, oh shit, there's the squeeze. It's over. I
Yeah.
missed it, and then it just kept going, and I just wanted to take a long walk off a short pier, man. I was
That is the worst, man.
Dude, I mean, there's nothing. This is where having the experience as a trader can really bite you in the ass because these kind of moves are so. They are so.
They're so degenerate. Like you really,
Yes.
if you're like a profitable, like good trader that like follows his rules every day, like you're likely not a part of that, unfortunately,
Right.
because it's straight degens in there every time. Like those
And
moves are just momentum of degenerates. Like
exactly. And I remember like seeing it go to like 20 in the 20s. I thought, oh yeah, that's got to be it. And then when it hit like it and seeing it go all the way to 450 or whatever the hell it did, it was equal parts mesmerizing, devastating, frustrating, all that stuff. And like I remember reading the short interest and looking at the short interest being over 100%, and I truly just thought, oh well, that's got to be an error. That's got to be some kind of mistake. And obviously, I ended up being dead wrong about that. But anyway, I think GameStop should do that. I don't know why they're not. I do own some January calls in that just in case, because I'm like, hey, maybe you never know. The way the chart is
maybe.
setting up, it looks like it could pop again.
Well, you're not wrong in that because things might get fucking wonky in December in the market. Like if Nvidia does deliver, there's no bearish catalyst remaining in the year after Thanksgiving break, which is next week. Everyone's really off the desk. Like nobody's gonna call a top in the market in December. It just doesn't happen, and
Mhm.
that's when the frothiness occurs. And GameStop is one of those vehicles to capture how frothy something can be, and it can just take off on a short squeeze. Also, I would love it if AMC adopted this crypto method, where it'd be great if crypto can save the movie industry. Like that would be a really good headline, and actually would be a win-win. And I'd be okay with AMC playing that financial engineering game via crypto if it meant that the nostalgia component of watching a movie stays intact for generations to come.
Hmm. Yeah, and I mean they are linked inextricably,
Yeah,
just by
100%.
Yeah.
virtue of being a meme stock to GameStop.
Also, can you imagine like buying a popcorn movie ticket with your Bitcoin? That could be like
Right.
the first adoption on crypto
Yeah,
to
they can
daily
make it
consumer
fun
lives.
when you go
Yeah.
there and give little rewards or whatever it is, for being a part of that. I think that could be something that would be
Again, I might
super
go on
cool.
LinkedIn right now to see if AMC's have
Yeah.
any positions open for me because I think I can disrupt it. I can, and who knows? Maybe I could be the chief strategy officer
Oh
there.
gosh.
There's so many things that so many of these companies should do, and it really lends itself to the fact that, yeah, at the end of the day, a lot of these companies are run. They're not zombie companies, but they're just. It's just like, who the hell is at the wheel here? What are they thinking? These board. It's kind of reminds me of Twitter back when they were publicly traded. All the board of directors members I remember hardly had any stake in the company. They just were collecting their fees or whatever, however it worked. And Elon came in and cleaned it all
Again,
out.
a
But
Jack Dorsey company. He's an
yeah,
awful CEO.
although Square is, I don't know if you've been watching what Square's been doing. I feel like the market has forgotten that Square is also very much a Bitcoin crypto play, and it's
I
been,
know.
Oh, it's been
yeah,
flying. And it's
yeah.
got a lot of room left up if it wants to fly more. I mean, it's just kind of coming out of this
Well,
base, really. So
Ben, let me ask you a question about another cult following. I want to
It,
hear your input on Palantir. What's your thoughts on what's happening in Palantir? What it's doing? Do
you
you have
struck a
puts on
nerve.
Palantir?
You struck a nerve. I Palantir is one of those. It's one of those names that I would see on Wall Street Bets and I would see on Reddit all the time. And I would dismiss it because I thought, oh, it's just another one of these cult ones that all the GameStop people love. And no matter how low it goes, they will always shield this thing. They love Palantir. Uh, and wasn't it a SPAC? Was it a SPAC name?
No, they went public via their own IPO, but it wasn't a
Right.
SPAC. Yeah.
So I always dismissed it first off in that regard. Second, I dismissed it because I think the float is fucking massive.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's
And so back when it was trading like sub 10, I was looking at the numbers, not like I'm some great accountant or anything, but I just remember seeing that, bless you. Sorry, that was my dog. Um, Jesus.
bless the
I
pup.
remember
Bless the pup.
I thought a car hit your living room.
and he just blasted snot everywhere. Good boy. Um, but yeah, I remember seeing that the market cap was, I God, 10 billion, whatever it was back then, and it was already trading at what I thought to be a pretty pretty rich valuation relative to earnings, relative to revenues, and I just thought, it's bogged down. It would take so much it would take so much buying momentum to move this thing. And sure enough, I mean, I traded it a couple times in the 20s, but I did not think it would go this far this fast, and it's been devastating to watch. However, I did score big on Reddit itself.
Ooh.
Made me
Very
very
nice.
happy. And man, I am so effing bullish on Reddit. I can't wait. I want it to drop so that I can buy more.
No, I fucked up on Reddit.
Reddit was a banger. I
The
kind of
best
stayed
Q3
away.
earnings this cycle. Absolute
Yeah.
best one. I mean, I worked on the corporate strategy side of Lionsgate. Like my role was just greenlighting films, marketing the films, casting, etc. We use Reddit as the tier one data source because truly to tell the sentiment of what's happening and the quality of that data is only Reddit. Everyone else is just bots, there's marketing, etc. Like Reddit doesn't have that. It's like pure data.
Mm.
In a world where there's going to be an LLM gold rush, data is the fuel that runs the AI engine. And if you
Yes.
want that fuel to be high quality and have the LLMs produce the highest quality output, you need Reddit. And that's why Reddit is kind of the stickiest social media data partner for the next couple of years. And I hate that I missed out on it because I had anecdotal evidence on it, but I just didn't like their business model as much until I saw, whoa, they're capitalizing on the ads, and now they have these partnerships with all these LLMs. They're just printing cash, and now they're one of the hottest IPOs this year that everyone wants their hands on. Like Ben wants more of it. I want a position in it. I just think, fuck, I missed out on that one. That was like so obvious, like hindsight looking back on it.
And I mean, I fully agree with the AI thesis. But I think the thing also is fully the advertising. I mean, they are just starting to really figure it out. And I don't know if you listened to or saw any of the conference call highlights, but the fact that they are only just starting to tap into and monetize internationally, I think they're utilizing AI to translate the entire website into different languages to break into all these different
Wow.
international markets and then monetize those. I've got a good friend who I used to work at BuzzFeed years ago. It is a mark of shame in my life. It was fine. It was a good job. But I knew this guy. Did I glitch out, by the way?
No,
No,
no, you're good.
You're
Okay,
good.
great. I knew this guy, just one of the smartest dudes in advertising, and he started at Reddit about 4 years ago, and he has been helping. And I just all that's to say, I believe in this guy, and I believe in his ability to help Reddit figure out how to monetize in a way that is native to Reddit, so that it is not too upsetting to the user base, because it is a very, very specific, kind of aggressive, especially anti-advertisement aggressive type of user base.
You don't mess up the subredditors. Like those
No,
are
you really don't. And I mean, he's an active Redditor. He's been using it for way longer than he's been working there. And he knows the product well. And I've personally, anecdotally, been seeing the ads that I've been getting served have been a lot better. They've been a lot more sneaky. They've been a lot. It's been because at first it was just an entirely new. Here's a post from a brand, but now I've been seeing like within threads. I've just been seeing ads, and I don't mind them, and I know that they're probably capitalizing on those huge. So, yeah, I think the advertising element is kind of a sleeper factor with Reddit as well.
yeah. I mean, they belong now in the tier one ad category with the Metas, Google's, Trade Desk, AppLovin. It's now Reddit. Reddit's the fifth name of that. So I know we're at the top of the hour. I do want to say like Mark's about to open in 1 minute.
Yeah, I better hop off.
Again, like if you guys want to follow what's the latest and greatest on Nvidia Day, like the best way is to go on Stockwit's platform, especially with all the sentiment reading It'd be
Big
great
time.
if we saw like goes from extremely bullish to neutral. I would love to
Yeah,
see that more,
that would
but
be cool. I would
that
like to
would be
see
cool.
that
But
too.
also like the live earnings call, like like the report is going to be great, but the what's going to really move the market is going to be commentary from Jensen on what the Blackwell chip's going to be like going forward, any delay, what the demand is still for AI going forward, because we already saw the capex from big tech already. We know that earnings would be is going to be dominant, but the
Mm-hmm.
commentary on the call is going to be everything to move the stock above 160 or maybe retest the 140 level. Who knows? But either way, the all-in-one platform is stocked to it. So like tune in for the sentiment read as well as their live earning call. Any sign off, Ben? Thank you for hopping on as well.
Absolutely.
The
Thank you
LA
so much.
boys right here.
I know we're all
LA
in the same
boys.
area.
I'd just like to say thanks, hey to everybody in the StockTwits audience, and yeah, tune into my show on Friday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'm sure we'll have a lot to say about the Nvidia earnings, and best of luck to everybody playing the earnings today.
You're the man, Ben. Appreciate
Yeah,
you.
you boys are the man, or the
All right.
men, the two men. All right, have a nice day, boys.
Yep. Stay safe.
See you guys.
See ya.
Well, gonna be a big day, ladies and gents. I think we got the market opening up right this second here.